So welcome back. This is week 4 of our Mature Hair series, and this week is all about how to add volume to thin, straight, fine hair. So we already talked about scalp health, and we talked about restoring shine in the hair, and then making sure that we're protecting the hair with products if we're using heat on it. One of the biggest complaints that I hear from women is my hair is fine, it's thinning, and it doesn't have any volume. So if you have fine, straight hair, especially as you age, don't worry, this is very common. You're not doing anything to encourage this. For years, I think some women think, oh, I must be doing something wrong. It's all part of the natural maturing process. What we do need to do is change our techniques and the things that we're doing to compensate for that. And there are lots of things that we can do to promote our hair to be healthy, have more volume, and just to restore shine back into it. So today we're specifically going to be talking about how to add volume back into fine, straight hair, some cuts that you can do, some products that you can use, and ways to style your hair so that you can get more volume. So I just want to say up front, this is not about adding more products. It's actually about just changing our technique. So a few things happen as we mature. Hormonal changes occur in our body, and the part starts to widen. It slows down hair growth. Hair strands themselves actually become finer. Oil production decreases, so it actually looks drier too. And a lot of these things happen right where everybody sees it. Your part starts to widen up here, your hairline starts to recede going back. So yeah, so we want to do things, especially if your hair is fine and straight. My hair is fine and curly, so I have a little bit of a different issue. So I'm going to be referring to some images that I have up here to kind of help you understand a little bit more what you can do to increase volume. So my hair, because it's curly, it increases more volume and frizz at the root area, where finer hair, like, it has a tendency just to lay flatter at that area. So it just is a different challenge. So there's just different ways that we need to approach styling our hair. So how to shampoo your hair for volume. This is where adding volume actually begins. Not cleaning the scalp enough, right? That's really where we're starting to change the way that we're approaching our hair as we're maturing. We need scalp care. That is probably one of the biggest things that we need to understand. And I don't know, for years, nobody ever talked about scalp care, but lately it's a thing because I think they're finding that it's really important that we get in there and start with the scalp care. So my first video of the hair series goes into detail about things that we can do to improve our scalp so that their hair grows in healthier and potentially a little bit thicker. Over conditioning the roots of the hair. I see a lot of women think that, you know, especially because our hair is getting drier, that we want to go in there with more product, and that will just weigh it down, especially if your hair is fine. You just really want to use a little bit of product. Place the conditioner where you need it. If you don't need it at the scalp area. Not too many of us do, but we do need it on our ends, and especially if your hair is color treated, you want to make sure that you are conditioning the ends and putting some type of mask on there. But just be very careful about how much you use. Use a lot less than you think you need. So for fine hair, you want a lightweight volumizing shampoo. I'm going to leave some links to some products down below that might help you with your hair if it's, you know, you're not getting enough volume, and just trying to use these products because they actually have like strand plumpeting agents in there that will make the hair feel a little bit thicker. Focus especially on your scalp area. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is to improve the health of your scalp. You will see a difference when you do this, I promise you. One of the most important things for fine hair is to remove the buildup. So if you have a buildup of product on your hair, or if it's you have hard water and if the minerals are attaching themselves to the hair, they will, because especially if your hair is finer and drier, it will just cling to those areas. You need to use a clarifying shampoo at least once a week, and that will remove any of that buildup that you might have on there, and that's in return just going to give you a little bit more volume. When it comes to product, less is more. But using the right products will definitely help. Using the right mousse, using the right root spray, and using like serums on the hair will actually help add some body to the hair. But the right ones do matter. So when you are shopping, just look for products that are lightweight and are perfect for adding volume to fine, straight hair. I'll link a few of my favorites down below in case you're interested. But when you're out there shopping around, just make sure that, you know, you're going for serums, you're going for root lifters, and you're going for lightweight mousses. And a small amount of these products will outperform putting a whole bunch of products on there. Again, we don't want to add buildup on the hair. We just really want to place the right products strategically so that it adds volume to the hair. So how to blow dry your hair for volume. This one is key. If you don't get this one down, you're just going to end up with not having any lift, especially at like the crown and the top of our head. We want more volume in this area and then back and through here, because that's really where everything starts to fall apart, or in these areas, right? So you think about adding, when you're blow drying, taking that round brush, lifting it straight up and away from your head. And then you can put, even if you get the brush down close to that root area and you're wrapping it around, put a little bit of heat on it and then do a cool shot, and then just let it sit there for a minute wrapped around that brush, and then just move it out gently, and you're gonna get more lift that way. So don't start with soaking wet hair, start with damp hair. The style will hold 10 times better when you're going in there when the hair is just damp, not soaking wet. Apply root lifters right at the root. I can't tell you, for those of you who don't know, I have a bridal hair and makeup company, and every time I have a bride come in that has like fine straight hair, I recommend the Paul Mitchell Root Boost or the Moroccan Oil Root Boost, and they tell me what a huge difference it makes in getting some volume in this part of their hair. Those root boosts are very super light, but they're very powerful. And just kind of go in through your root area where you need the volume and pump that onto the hair. Blow drying your hair in the opposite direction that you want it to go, okay? Just blow dry, bring it over, and then you can brush it back and you'll get more volume. When you're blow drying, you have that round brush in there, use tension at that root area. You really want to get that lift in there, and you want to hold the brush on there and let it cool until you pull the brush away. And then of course, if your blow dryer has a cool shot on there, just, you hit it with the cool shot, and then that's just gonna add shine to the hair too. Once your hair is dry, I am a huge fan of Velcro rollers. Just go in there, even if you just put some across the top, it's just gonna add more volume there. And let them sit in there for a few minutes. Spray it lightly with like a really lightweight hairspray. Again, I'll leave some down below. You don't want to go in there with anything too heavy, and then take it out. And that way you'll just get a really good foundation with the Velcro roller. It'll just give it more structure so the hair will last longer throughout the day. So we're not chasing big hair. We're not looking for 80s hair, for anybody who remembers that look. If you do remember that look, comment below. We should just take a hairspray and shoot it, and then take the blow dryer and then shoot it straight up so that we have like this big poof in the front. Haircuts matter more than people realize. And I think as we mature, a lot of us think we want to go with bangs and we want to go with shorter around our face because we think it's going to add more volume. My belief is just the opposite. Let those front pieces grow as long as you can possibly get them, okay? Do a blunt cut in the back with maybe some graduation on the ends, right? So it looks a little bit more stacked and you get a little bit more volume at this area. The longer the piece is here in the front, the more drama it creates for the face, and it adds a little bit more to our features. Frame the face, but just keep them longer so that you can get more volume, especially if your hairline is starting to recede in here. Going in there and just letting more length in here will fill in that area. And that's really where we want. The length is in this area here, so it frames our face and makes our eyes pop. Long, minimal layers will work best on your hair if your hair is fine and straight. Shoulder length is perfect, especially as we mature, and especially for fine straight hair. If your hairstylist has a tendency to cut your bang area too short, I've worked in salons for close to 50 years. I know that some hairdressers are scissor happy, and they'll, no matter what you tell them just to trim or you just want your ends dusted, they'll cut short. And if your hairdresser has a tendency to do that, just tell you don't want anything cut off the front until it gets to the point where you're like, oh, I think either you like the way that the length is growing in, I hope this is making sense, or you think, okay, now it's starting to drag down my face. But try to let them grow in, especially if you have shorter bangs. Just let it grow for as long as possible is what I'm trying to get at. And just see if that adds more volume where you're looking for it, especially around the front. We don't really care about having volume back here, but we do care about having volume around the front, and especially in this crown area. But no thinning shears, no over texturizing, Throwing a couple of like peekaboo highlights in your hair will add some body, but only if your hair is in the right condition. If you're looking to have it look more layered and textured looking, try that first before you go in there and start cutting too short of layers in the hair. That will add some texture to the hair, you know, when you have like a few streaks that are kind of flowing around the front area of your face. So if your hair does feel flat and lifeless, it's not because you don't have enough hair, it's because you just need to approach it a little bit differently. And one of the best ways I can tell you to do that is to just kind of follow some of these suggestions that I offered you in today's video. So on our Wednesday reset video, we're going to be talking about how to get that style to last for a few days, so you don't have to go in there every single day adding more heat to the hair. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss any of these videos when they come out. And I will see you in my next video, which is all going to be on about haircuts that flatter women as we mature. I'm going to do a whole series just on that. So if your hair is curly, if your hair is fine, if your hair is coarse, whatever it may be, I'm going to go through that entire video. Is going to be all on different haircuts that will best suit your hair structure for you as a mature woman. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.